Hey guys, what is up and welcome to a new League of Legends video. So I'm sure most of you know YASUO is one of my favorite champions to play in League of Legends because not only is he just a lot of fun, but there's a lot of cool things you can do with him. And I'm always trying to find out new and cool tricks that you can do with YASUO, maybe finding it for myself or just searching forums and seeing if anything is ever discovered. And it just so happens that a user by the name YASUO had made a thread talking about this really cool new YASUO trick that I've personally never seen before. So I'll link his thread in the description below and big shoutouts to him. Now right before I show you guys the trick, I do want to point out the fact that there is a lot more happening behind the scenes that you probably won't see in the very first example. But I will go through it and I will explain everything that you need to know, because at first when I saw it, I didn't see the beauty behind this trick either. So after you see it, let me know what you think about the trick down below and hit the like button if you end up enjoying this video and learning something new. But without much further ado, let's get right into the actual trick. So as usual, we'll first see this trick played out at normal speed so you guys can get an idea as to what exactly it looks like. Then we'll go over once again in slow motion and I'll tell you guys everything you need to know. So at first it actually looks quite simple. I mean, you get the Q charged up, the third one ready to go. Alistar is going to be knocking up the Caitlyn with the Q flying out of me as I'm ulting, and it looks pretty cool. But at first a lot of people might think that the trick is just simply throwing out your Q from your ultimate's position, and though that is part of it, that is not the main thing. So let's take another look and see exactly what's happening. Alright, so the first thing that you need to realize is the fact that you obviously need to have your third Q ready and you need an ally to knock up an enemy target, whether it's 1, 2, 3, or 4. So as I freeze it here, you'll notice that before I use my ultimate on the Caitlyn, you see how it says Steel Tempest at the bottom? Well, that means you want to use your Q first and then use your ultimate literally the second after. And this is the first part of the trick, where it is going to be throwing out the Q from your new position where you ult, and it'll essentially extend the range of your Q ability. So with that being said, you're able to hit targets that you may have not been able to hit with your third Q initially, again, because you are essentially extending the range of your third Q. But next, let's talk about the part that I'm sure a lot of you may have missed, and to me this is probably the most important part of the trick, or what really makes this a cool trick for me. So as I continue the clip in slow motion, do you notice how Caitlyn is being knocked down with my ultimates, but the rumble is still in the air? Or in other words, the ultimate is done its very long cast animation where YASUO swings at them in the air several times then knocks them down, again because myself and Caitlyn are on the ground, but the rumble is still very much in the air, and he doesn't come down for another second or so because the animation for him is not done yet. So what does this mean for YASUO? Well, while the rumble is still technically in the animation of being in the air by YASUO's ultimate, even though YASUO himself has finished his ultimate, he's actually able to attack the rumble with an auto attack Q before the rumble finally gets brought down to the ground. But it still kind of begs the question, why does it take rumble that much longer to be hit back down to the ground versus Caitlyn and YASUO? So let's take another look, but this time just in slow motion and not actually pausing it. Alright, so the first part you already know. You use the Q, then your ultimate, which makes your Q come out from your new ultimate location. But this is also what makes the second part work, because notice how while I'm in the air with Caitlyn already begin channeling the ultimate, Rumble gets knocked up just a little bit later. He still gets caught into YASUO's ultimates, but since he got caught into it just a bit later than Caitlyn, this also means that he will drop a bit later than Caitlyn and YASUO. It doesn't really matter when you get put into YASUO's ultimate, so in Rumble's case, maybe 0.3 seconds after YASUO already started using his ultimate. Because regardless, you will be put into the air for a full second. Again, no matter if you get put into it at the very beginning or a little bit later, just like the Rumble. And that's pretty much exactly what happens. The Rumble gets put into the ult a little bit delayed because of how delayed that Q flies out, but he still gets attached into his ultimate, but he still has to be in the air for that full second duration, even though YASUO is on the ground already, since he and the Caitlyn already finished that full 1 second channel. So now that you understand it, let's take one final look without any slow motion. Alistar knocks up the Caitlyn IQ, ultimate cancel, go into the air, the Q comes out from a new location, knocks Rumble up in the air, a little bit delayed but still into YASUO's ultimate, but he still has to finish that full 1 second channel, and then he drops down, which is a bit later than YASUO, so gives YASUO a few free auto attacks. Whew, so that was a lot to talk about, guys. I tried my best to explain it as well as I could have. Now, the trick is definitely really cool, some interesting interactions, but it is somewhat difficult to pull off. But if you have at least one other person on your team that can knock someone else up and you can get this channel off properly, then honestly, that extra half a second you save or the extra half a second of free auto attacks you get on that delayed target knockup can can be the difference between winning and losing a team fight. But either way guys, that is it for this video. If you did enjoy, then definitely hit that like button, share this with your friends, and let everyone else see this pretty cool trick with YASUO that you can now do. Subscribe if you haven't, and check out my other videos as well. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Peace.